Hi everyone, it's Ollie at Magic Hands Hobbies. It's been a while, but I'm back and I'm going to try and get out all the videos that I have got lined up but have never done anything with, and hopefully be producing some new content for the year. This one came to me in a vision of brilliance, you might say, but it's a hack for priming your models. Everybody's got different ways of doing it. And there was something that happened. Basically, I had my windscreen replaced and I bought a new phone holder to fix to it, and the base of it is a suction cup, but it has a very sticky base, like a sticky pad. And when I looked into it, it's actually called a Nano gel pad, and what I found out is that you can clean this with like isopropyl alcohol, or warm soapy water depending on what you're putting on there. We're talking about paint, primarily spray acrylic paint, and if you use isopropyl alcohol you can clean this stuff off, let it evaporate, and it still remains sticky. So this video is me trying to go through and demonstrate why I think this is such a good idea. And with that being said, let's get on with the video. So, priming miniatures. Lots of different ways of doing it. Ultimately we're all trying to do the same thing, and that is to get a decent base coat down so that when we apply our acrylic paints they're going to stick. Lots of people have got these paint handles. You can use them if you're doing one model at a time. I find that the issue is that you can clog the mechanism with them. If you're spraying, you're going to clog the mechanism up. You're going to coat the whole thing in paint. Yes, you could probably clean it. You can use isopropyl alcohol, wipe it all down, and make it look pretty again afterwards. But you're going to get paint on your hand, so people wear gloves. And if you wear gloves, that means you've got one extra thing that you either need to buy or that you need to throw away. I don't think you can clean these up. I did try using in the past a long strip of wood, which you can apply tape to. I know a lot of people use double-sided tape, and a lot of people use the 3M foam tape. I know that's quite popular at the moment, but again, once you've got the paint on it, you can't use it again, and it's another thing that you have to keep a stock of or keep supply of, and then you got to bin it. And the problem with the plank of wood, like I'm showing here, it's not easy to hold, to maneuver. There's nothing to grip hold of. Now what I have done in the past is I've used this little spray booth, which I put together. It's just foam core board, but you've got to wait for them to dry, wait for the models to dry, spin them around, they fall over, they blow out the way. It's not very good, and it's a pain in the backside. I found this. This is the Nano gel tape, and here it is, and I'll hold it up. It says clear sealing tape underneath my hand. My dad wrote that on there thinking it was his. It was mine, and I ordered it from Amazon. I think it was like £5 for 2 rolls, and the plan is to put it on this. Now, I don't believe I've seen anybody using one of these. This is a plastering hawk. It's got a nice handle underneath. It's quite big. It's got a nice soft grip, and as you can see, it's going to protect my arm from the paint. I don't need to be wearing the glove, I just haven't taken it off at this particular point. It conveniently has circles on it. I'm not sure what the circles are for, to be honest, but we could easily use that as a guide of where to place miniatures. You don't want them too close to the edge because you don't want paint to overspray, but you can put large scale models on here and have a good grip, a good position to be able to hold the models. So for example, this dragon could sit right in the middle, and it's going to be nice and firm and easy to control, and there is not going to be overspray. So I'm going to prove this to you and demonstrate how good this stuff is. I'm going to take a piece of this tape. Now you'll see that there's this actual shadow on the board. I've already done this before, making this video. You can see it's a 2 or 3 mil thick, which is just like that 3M foam. It comes with a very thin sliver of plastic on it, so you can easily fix it down without it sticking to your hands. This stuff is reusable. I don't recommend pulling it off because it stretches the tape and then it doesn't seem to go down well, but you can reuse it. And you can see how strong it is. It is really strong stuff. Your models are not going to come off very easily on this. I say very easily. They're not going to fall off very easily. So here's a model. Now this does not have a normal base on it. This has got a solid base. So I didn't anticipate just how strong this was going to hold it. I am whacking this really hard. And then I broke the model. Not a big deal. I'll get some super glue and put it on there. However, that base is a solid base. It's not hollow. And it's a nightmare to get off. So if you're going to do it, have it so that it's overhanging the tape so you can get your nails under there and lift it off. Now you can make this stuff less tacky just by tapping it multiple times with your fingers, which I'll show later on. But you can see it was pretty well stuck on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some spray paint, typical acrylic priming paint, in this particular case by Colourforge, and I'm going to spray the paint on there. There it is, trench brown. I've used this numerous times before, and unfortunately I do spray this too close and I put too much on, and it kind of like all gathers at the bottom of the tape. But the same principle applies every time. So I'm just going to dry it off with a hairdryer, and I'm also doing this in real time. I want to demonstrate that I'm not cutting any film, I'm not, faking this. This is good stuff and relatively cheap. So just going to let it dry. You can see it's all gathered at the bottom. I'm desperately trying to cure it. I think I end up wiping it away just to get rid of it. Right, so I'm tapping it with my thumb. That's the too much paint at the bottom, but I'm tapping it with my thumb and I'm trying to demonstrate the fact that it's not sticky anymore. Let's try it a bit more. Now obviously if I put a model on it right now, it would just stick to the paint that hasn't fully cured, and I realised that drying it with a hairdryer doesn't necessarily mean that the paint is going to cure, which is a lesson that I learned later on, but we'll come to that. Right, there you go. It is not tacky anymore. A model will kind of stick to it, but again, I think it's just because the paint hasn't fully cured yet. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to get some paper and some isopropyl alcohol. This is actually supposed to be in my 3D printer, but I'm using it for this as well. I'll get some kitchen roll or paper that isn't easily just going to fall apart. Don't use toilet roll. It will just disintegrate. It needs to have some kind of body to it. You could use a rag. There's nothing wrong with using a rag. And then you simply just rub this stuff off. Now, I don't advise going too harsh with this. Just gentle rubbing over the surface, and if you keep going, you will eventually feel it go, what's the best way to describe it? Like slippery. It will become slippery because you're reactivating the plastic itself, the tape. The tape does not have a glue on it. This is not glue. The tape is the tape. It's just the way it's designed. If you were to cut through this tape, the edge, that 2mm thick edge, would be sticky. It's really good stuff. I'm going to put the model back on it. I didn't push down too hard. The model will come off. It comes off a bit easier than what it did before. Maybe it's because I didn't press it in too hard or as hard. I'm going to speed this footage up, but I'm going to do this multiple times just to show you that it can be reused. So again, not tacky. See, the model just falls off. Rub it again, more alcohol. The key is to let it evaporate. The reason you let it evaporate is because when you have put the alcohol on, it kind of goes like liquidy. It feels very runny, but it's not runny. There's nothing on there. This is just the plastic or just the rubber. Wow, what is it? It's polyurethane. That's what it's made from. It's a polyurethane. I'm going to do this over and over again. I think I only do it like one more time. And it is just to show you that, you know, this stuff works over and over again. I don't know what the limit is, or if there is a limit. Based on what I've done on research online, there shouldn't be a limit to this. You should be able to just keep doing it. One thing I have learned is the harder you press the model in, the more it's likely to stick. But what you don't want to do is any damage to the tape, because the idea is you want this to be reusable. Now I'm actually belting it quite hard against my hand. Obviously you're not going to do this with your models. Let's get some tape on the plastering hawk. I don't know the best way to arrange this. I'm basing it on the size of the circles. Obviously there's straight lines, this tape is straight, you can't bend it to a circle. So what I'm going to do is use the circles as a guide and go straight along the edges, encompassing that circle. So you simply unwrap it like any other tape, cut it to the length that you want, and then you peel the plastic off once you're ready. I would advise, if you're going to do this, by the way, put all the tape on first before you take the plastic cover off. Otherwise your hands are going to get, your hands are going to interfere with all the stickiness on the hawk itself. Now the lesson learned on this, don't get a black one. If you're going to prime in black, when it comes to the cleanup of this, you can't tell what you've painted or where the paint is compared to where you've cleaned, and you have to go by the feeling of it. Now if any of you end up doing this, you'll understand exactly what I mean. Like I said, it'll go from like a matte finish, and you'll suddenly, when you're cleaning it, you'll feel a change in the material returning back to its original form. So what I'm doing is I'm putting in 2 lines, and then what I'm doing in the middle is I'm putting something so that if I ended up putting a big model in the middle, I can stick it down the middle. Notice how I'm leaving gaps? This is because it makes it easier to get underneath the miniatures. So we're going to put some models on. I'm doing Space Wolves at the moment, so this is what I'm putting down. People are going to ask me, why do I offset the models from the bases? This is so that you can get underneath it when you're painting it. They're held on with one little dot of super glue, so that I can easily remove them. And yeah, it just makes it far easier, I find personally, to be able to put these on a painting handle and then paint underneath, so that you're getting all the areas that you need to. Those ones on the middle, I don't end up using those. That's just to demonstrate the fact that you can put them in the middle. That's showing that they won't come off. They are pretty much on there. The middle ones I'll take off because I want to get behind the models. I'm going to spray them on the outside and on the inside. And if you have any on the inside line of tape that I've put there, you can't get to the backs of the minis without spraying the internal ones too much. So just be warned. Be careful of your placement. Make sure you can get to every part of the minis. I may well have put too many on there around the outside, but I had no problem with them. I didn't adjust anything. Everything was fine. Unfortunately, you get to see my face on this one. I think this is only the second video I've done this. This is outside in my back garden. Please ignore the fence. It is not my fence, it's the neighbours. And we've already asked them to replace it. Looks disgusting. Anyway, you can see I can get to all angles. I'm not hitting my arm with this. I'm protected. I don't need to wear a glove. It's a really handy little thing. I think maybe it would be better if it was rectangular rather than it being square, but you can see it comes up pretty damn good. Well, I say that, it's not very easy to see how well the minis are undercoated, but we'll come to that in a second. Right then, so back at my desk, you'll have to excuse that I don't have a wide angle on this. My desk is very small and the camera is mounted quite close. Obviously I normally use this for filming myself painting the actual models itself. I'm going to take the handle off just for ease of use. Probably a good idea to make sure you can remove the handle on the one that you get. It just allows you to get better access to it. I definitely recommend getting a lighter hawk or even a metal one. Once I'd sprayed the black onto this, it was quite difficult to tell what was paint and what was the original plastic, and when it comes to the cleaning, it would make things a lot easier to have a lighter base. You can see I didn't get underneath the models. I find this is the same whether I'm priming on this hawk or whether I'm priming on a piece of wood. It's the same thing. The only way you're going to get underneath it is if it's on an individual handle or you're holding the model separately. It's not that big a deal. Quick spray from the rattle can or the brush, get some black paint on there underneath and you're good. Rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, just rub it all over the tape. Again, like I said, if this was a lighter coloured hawk or metal one, it would be far easier to see, but it wasn't that big a deal. You can feel when it's clean. I can't recommend this enough. I'm gonna call it a priming hawk. Can't think of any better name for it. If you've got any suggestions, by all means put them in the comments, or if you've got any ideas for maybe improvements, that'd be great to hear. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you go away with something useful. I'd love to see some ideas that you may have, or your own versions. Otherwise, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.